And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're looking at Formula Motor Racing. Formula Motor Racing is an older game, came out from Dr. Rainer Knizia, from GMT Games of all things, the people who are known for war games, but they occasionally make these lighter games like Formula Motor Racing. This came out quite a while ago, 2001, so that's over a decade old, but the game still holds up after this time. There are a lot of racing games out there. There are games where you go around a track. Formula Motor Racing is not that. In essence, you have your cars in their positions, and you're just switching positions throughout the course of the race. Let me show you. At the beginning of a race, everybody is given a card of their color, so you pick which colored cars you're going to run that race, and those are placed in front of you so everyone can see what color you are, and then randomly the cars are put out in the middle of the table, semi-randomly. So if your car is first, your other car is last. If you have second place, and you have 11th, and so on. So the person who's in the middle has both their cars in the middle. Everyone is going to get a hand of cards then from this deck, so you'll get 5 cards. And then on your turn, starting with this person going clockwise around the table, each person will play a card, draw a card, and so on. Now, what do the cards do? Well, a lot of the cards will show a player's color. For example, this one here shows an overtake +2. That means if I'm the red player, I can take a red car and move it 2 spaces. However, whenever you play one of these cards, the card directly behind you will also move with you. So in this instance, that was a really good card for red to play. But it also means that let's say I'm the green player, I might want to play this yellow 2 overtake just to move move my green car into a better position. And so there's a lot of different cards. In fact, the majority of the deck has these cards, whether they be +2 or +4. And then there are other cards, or +3s. There are other cards that will also specifically target a card, like this pit stop here. It says choose a purple car and roll the die. 1 through 6, move the car back by that number of spaces. 7 through 12, no effect. So then the person will simply take the 12-sided die that comes with the game and roll it and do that action. Let's take a look at some of the other cards. A black card means you can play that card on anybody. Roll the die. The car in that position, you can re-roll it once. The car in that position moves into the last position. +1, I can choose any car and roll the die. 1 through 9, +1, 10 through 12, last position. Now these are interesting. Here I can pick any car, and there's a 1/4 chance it's going to go to the very last position. However, if you use one of these on your own car, let's say I'm the yellow car, and so I roll the die, and 1 through 5, I get to go up 1. I can continue to do that. I can keep pushing my luck. And now I'm in front of the red car here. Okay, 8. I'm doing fine so far. And I can stop anytime I want because there I rolled an 11. And now my car is all the way in the end. You can't do that to someone else's color. You can only do that to one of your own. There's also cards that will just absolutely kill somebody. Roll the die. The car in that position is out of the race. A spin out. There are cards that you can just make someone go back to. Playable on anybody. Or choose one of the last 3 cars still in the race. And so you're going to be basically playing these cards. And after you've gone through the whole deck and the cards have been played, then we're going to look, and the cards that are in the first 6 positions are going to score points. We have a score sheet that players will be using to keep track of how many points you get in each of the different races for both of their cars, if their cars scored or not. And then a total points for the teams, and you can play multiple races if you want, or you can just play one race and see who has the most points for a quick game. Game takes about 10 or 15 minutes at the most. If you're going to play multiple matches, that will take longer. As you might be able to tell at this point, I'm a fan of Formula Motor Racing. It's something that I find entertaining. It's something that's interesting because it's just fast and fun, and you're positioning yourselves. Sure, you can get hosed over by the cards that you draw. Sometimes you just roll the die and your car was the one to go out of the race, and then someone else rolls a die and your car goes to last position. There's not a whole lot you can do. But the cards themselves are entertaining and interesting, and it's fun to watch as different people maneuver the cards around. It's most fun with a full complement of 6 players, just because everyone's involved and there's no neutral cars being played out there. But even in a 4, even in a 3-player game. But again, again, every time you move a car, you move one of your own, you're likely helping somebody else. You move someone else's to help your own. And so there's that kind of teamwork as you move these cards, because whenever you move a car, the car behind in the slipstream moves. And so that's an interesting concept. And there's back and forth all the time. Very rarely does someone maintain the lead for the whole game, because people are going to be making you go backwards or moving their cars into the lead. So a lot of back and forth. But again, don't think that this is a heavy game. It's very light, very fun, but unlike most take-that games where you're playing cards against each other, here you're maneuvering the cars right in the middle. And again, it's a silly fun, but at the same time when you're done, you feel like you've raced a race. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I like Formula Motor Racing.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.